We need to talk about why physical cash, namely the banknotes and coins in our wallets, is a good thing and should not be replaced by alternative electronic solutions. There has been a drive to phase out cash for some time, which of course has been greatly accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Financial institutions and the government tell us that the transition to a cashless society is both inevitable and beneficial, that only Luddites would stand in the way of such useful technological progress. However, it is my opinion that cash is worth preserving, and there is a reason why certain influential players don't want you to use it. When you pay using cash, the exchange is directly between yourself and the person with whom you're transacting. When you pay using a card or payment app, you're essentially relying on someone else's permission to allow you to make the payment. Of course, as part of that process, the payment provider can opt to charge whatever fees they like for allowing you to transact. They can record the data and sell it to a third party. What would have been a simple exchange between two people has now become a complicated exchange involving a middleman, and that middleman might not have your best interests at heart. Why would it be worth adding such an extra layer of complexity to the age-old process of making a payment? Well, some would say that card and mobile app payments are more convenient. Except, are they really that much more convenient? The truth is, cash has quite a few benefits over electronic alternatives. For example, research has shown that people are significantly more careful with their money when it resides in the form of paper in their wallets. It seems that watching those banknotes leave your wallet is a deterrent to frivolous spending. Of course, frivolous spending is not something that financial institutions particularly want to discourage. Another disadvantage with electronic payments is that small independent vendors are likely to be hard hit by the fees and complexity involved in processing them. The Cashless Society will benefit the big players more than the little ones. Also, once digital payment providers dominate the landscape, what is to stop them from banding together and charging whatever fees they like to allow you to transact? Sweden, of course, is currently winning the race to become the world's first completely cash-free society, with less than a quarter of Swedes currently using cash even once a week. This has led to problems for some of Sweden's 1.8 million pensioners, for whom paying electronically can be troublesome. It has also led to problems for the so-called unbanked, those people who, for one reason or another, do not have access to banking services, payment cards, or smartphone apps. These people are often among the poorest and most vulnerable in society. And while going cashless has been hailed as a way to reduce crime, robberies in Sweden have not declined in the past decade, and payment fraud has more than doubled. When you consider the vast aggregate fees generated by all these cashless transactions, which are generally only directly seen by merchants, but are of course eventually passed on to consumers, well, one could say that every single cashless payment is a kind of miniature robbery. The most frightening and egregious aspect of a cashless society, however, is the implication for our privacy. With cash, you're able to buy and sell, to work and earn, with the only people involved being those with whom you're transacting. You can go about your business undisturbed, with your privacy intact. However, in a cashless society, enter big business and big government like the Eye of Sauron, watching everything you do. There would be a record of every food item you ever bought, every journey you ever took on public transport. Piecing together these transactions could create a fairly accurate log of everywhere you have ever been, everyone you have spent any time with, and everything about your lifestyle, your eating habits, your political leanings, and more. Once you combine a cashless society with a Chinese-style social credit system, then you have achieved a true and total surveillance dystopia. Having collected information about who is buying what, and which person is giving money to whom, it is only another small step to begin handing out rewards to the people who make the right purchases, and punishing those who make the wrong ones. This could take a relatively benign form, such as the government rewarding people for making healthy food purchases, which, incidentally, according to the Telegraph newspaper, the UK government does intend to start doing from January next year. However, it could of course be used for far more nefarious purposes. By ensuring that all of our transactions are recorded and organised, the foundation for a terrifying social credit system has been constructed. Indeed, what is to stop payment providers from simply denying access to those who do not share their political goals? We have already seen in recent years that they are more than willing to do this when it comes to online purchases. Wouldn't it be truly nightmarish if this became the reality for offline purchases too? It would seem that the worst aspects of this could be entirely avoided if we were to stick to using good old-fashioned cash. In China today, mobile payments have become the norm, with the equivalent of more than $40 trillion being transacted every year. Alipay and WeChat Pay dominate the mobile payment landscape. Private companies of any magnitude are effectively organs of the Chinese Communist Party, who are clearly going to requisition and do whatever they see fit with the data held by these companies. It is interesting to note that in nearby Japan, cash is still king, and paying by card or mobile app is something of an exception rather than a rule. Given how different the situation is in nearby China, it does make one wonder to what extent the Chinese Communist Party have deliberately encouraged the proliferation of mobile apps so as to build a platform for effective population control. In any case, the precedent set by the Chinese Communist Party is not one which we should choose to emulate here in the West. Cash is an age-old solution which need not be replaced. It offers a convenient, secure, and fail-safe mechanism of exchange while maintaining our privacy and individual freedoms. It enables free and equal access to money regardless of one's status in society. We also have to consider how hard is it really to pull out a banknote from one's wallet and pop some change back in? Is the convenience of swiping a card or using an app really worth it when we consider what we might be giving up in exchange? The road to a cashless society, as exemplified by countries such as China and Sweden, is a road which we should be careful not to follow ourselves.